This is a new report from SCNR.com. Shock poll. Majority of first-time Iowa caucus goers support Vivek Ramaswamy. Trump is in third place among this group with 29%. Surprisingly, I believe it's Nikki Haley who has second place, right?
Well, her numbers come from first-time GOP caucus goers, and it's because she has a lot of Democrats caucusing.
Exactly.
And so these are people that are not actually going to be voting for a Republican in November.
This is a crazy thing. I think Mark Cuban tweeted this, calling for crossover voters, Democrats, to come in and vote for Nikki Haley, basically sabotaging the Republican primary process.
Why does the state party of Iowa allow that? Like, why does the Republican state party of Iowa allow that? That makes absolutely no sense. Here's a question: how long have you been in Iowa?
Less than a week.
Yeah, you've met some people. You've gotten out. You've went to restaurants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you met a Nikki Haley supporter?
No.
Never.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like meeting a dodo bird or
or a Joe Biden voter.
Try and capture one for science. Science.
Okay.
What are you? I don't know one. I've never seen one.
Yeah, we've met Joe Biden voters. I've never met a Joe Biden supporter.
Okay.
Yeah, they voted against Trump essentially.
Yeah, and even like the leftists who are like, I voted for Biden. It's like, yeah, I don't like the guy at all. I just think Trump's a fascist or blah blah blah. But when I saw this thing from Mark Cuban where he's like crossover voters, you're saying why does Iowa allow it? It's really simple, man. Democrats probably a long time ago switched their party with the intention of sabotaging the primary. We talked about it even in 2020. This is a strategy of having your people go to open primaries to choose whoever you think is going to lose or just to cause chaos and damage.
Well, if it makes any of the folks in attendance or watching feel better, Liz Cheney tried to do this in Wyoming and she lost by 40 points. She tried to get all the Democrats in Wyoming to register and vote for her. I don't think it's smart that some states do it, but that's just the fact of the matter.
But it's not about any state doing it. Even if you have a closed primary or caucus process, a Democrat 1 year ago switches party affiliation to Republican, waiting for the moment they can come and do this. So there's no way to stop it. It just means that Democrats there are a large percentage of Democrat voters who are lying to sabotage the Republican primary process.
I would like to thank your program and what you guys do for sending your reporters to the Nikki Haley events. And she has totally closed the doors to most conservative media. She won't allow cameras inside of her stump speeches. She's terrified that her speeches will get out there. And so your videos of like talking to the attendees and saying, yeah, I'll vote. They say I'll vote for Biden before I vote for Trump. Like those are the first videos that were actually coming out of the Nikki Haley events this entire campaign cycle. So you guys did a great job on that.
Well, that's a shout out to SCNR.com. Elad Eliyahu doing this ground reporting. Elad does a great job. He doesn't go in. He's not yelling at people. He asks them a basic question. Who are you supporting, Nikki Haley? If it's not Nikki Haley, who will you vote for? And they say Biden.
And their voters say Ukraine's the number one issue.
Yeah.
And, these people are not going to be Trump voters, and that's okay. We don't need them. But the Vivek has been interesting. He's attracting a new demographic, I think, to the party. And I think when he eventually drops out, I think most of his, if not all of his supporters will come and vote for President Trump.
Yep.
But, he's a young, energetic guy, and he attracts a similar type of person that President Trump does. But Vivek's team has really made an effort to go after the young vote, the 18, 20-year-olds, and the Andrew Tate crowd.
It's brilliant going for the younger voter. I think Vivek's whole play is for the future. I do think the Save Trump Vote Vivek thing was a huge misstep. But I think right now, and I'll say this too, because right now with the Vivek versus Trump thing, people are getting attacked online like crazy. You've got these diehard Trump supporters saying they're all grifters. Yeah, okay. Look, I'm going to throw some criticism at Ian Miles Chong because he posted that really deceptive image that was like mainstream media-esque, where it's a very tight shot from the third row of a Trump rally and then behind Vivek at his whole room, when apparently Trump had like 2,500 people plus overflow and Vivek had 500 capacity. Like, let's not play those games. We don't need to do that. But there are a lot of people that I think are going hard after anybody who is talking to Vivek or interviewing him, claiming that there's a paid, coordinated thing. Totally not true. Possible. I don't know. Maybe some people are getting paid by Vivek's campaign. We didn't get anything from Vivek, except I will say, full disclosure, the building we are in, Laura Loomer tweeted that we are in his campaign office. Technically correct, not literally correct. His campaign office is down the hall around the corner. I think that's fair to point out. We are in an unused portion of the building. We actually had to talk with the owner about the use of the space and what it meant. And I'm just going to tell everybody this. We were like at odds with the Vivek campaign because they're super noisy and we're trying to do a show. But I'm like, I don't want to disrupt someone else's campaign.
Yeah, and they've given us full access to that office, which is where I got my tea, is in Vivek's campaign.
They're being really nice to us.
Shout out to Vivek's tea.
He's being bought off by tea.
That's right. That's right. But I want to make sure we're being transparent and clear with that. Yeah. But I also want to point out that when Laura mentioned about being loyal to Trump, I don't think she articulated that very well.
I don't like loyalty in politics. What do you guys think?
No, hold on. I want to address this. This is the point why I'm bringing it up. There is an issue of being honorable and loyal to Donald Trump, and I agree with it. Now, let all the DeSantis people scream MAGA cult BS, whatever. No, I'll tell you what it means. It means I didn't vote for Donald Trump in 2016, and then I saw a president who started no new wars. I saw him set deadlines for ending these foreign wars, which the Democrats told me were all bad during Obama, but made worse. He brings in the Abraham Accords. He negotiates with North Korea. All of these great foreign policy moves, some bad ones, don't get me wrong, but an overall net positive. And the whole time, they're destroying his life. They're targeting his children. His net worth is dropping. Now they're trying to take from him his properties in New York City with a fraudulent trial. He's being criminally prosecuted across the board. I'm sorry, man. When it comes to the issue of loyalty, I can ignore policy and say, I'm not going to abandon a guy and vote for Vivek after this guy jumped in the trenches and caused himself personal damage to do good things for me and the United States. That's loyalty. But that being said, between Vivek and Trump, I understand Vivek's point about they're going to try and stop him. Agreed. However, Donald Trump has experience in his first term. I believe that if Vivek were to win right now, he would not be as effective as Trump in certain areas because he will step on the landmines that they laid out for Trump in the first term that Trump now knows about. So I still think there's a logical path forward for why Donald Trump is the right person to pick. And I also think there's a question of honor and loyalty to a guy who's sacrificing a lot.
Well, so honor, don't turn away from who you believe in because of fear. I agree with that. But I believe that we should be loyal to the process. And it sounds like you're loyal to Trump's process, which I understand. But if
what does that mean?
You're loyal to his actions. What he's done is like, I want more of that. I respect humans that do that thing. But if,
no, that's not correct.
You're saying all the things he did. It's not about like, I love the guy no matter what he does, I'll vote for him.
I'm saying you can ignore the good things he's done. That's my point. If we take all of his policies and everything he did for this country and just put a blanket over it and say, the only issue we are addressing is this man ran to be president, ignited a base, and they have been stabbing him in the back relentlessly. That guy made sacrifices for me. I won't abandon him.
No, I don't like that.
But I think I hear where you're coming from, though. But and I think for the voters, I don't think the voters necessarily have to be loyal to a person, right? I think President Trump has earned a lot of respect and a lot of appreciation from the voters, and that's why they're going to vote for him tonight and across the country. But when Laura Loomer, I think when she's talking about the loyalty, I think she's talking about people like a Ron DeSantis, who was a backbench Congress member until he got on his hands and knees and cried in front of Trump, begging him for his endorsement, basically getting the coronation to become governor of Florida. President Trump worked with him, made sure he got in. He had rally after rally after rally. DeSantis was running TV ads, basically saying, I'm President Trump's #1 guy, and, build the wall, reading Trump books to his kids. And he embraced the Trump brand to become who he is today. And then he totally ditched Trump when it became politically convenient for him. And then when you look at some of these other influencers that Laura Loomer's in the trenches fighting online, simply built their audiences. Like, I look at Tim different than I look at some of these other folks, like a Jenna Ellis, because Jenna Ellis built her audience off of the back of Trump supporters and President Trump. Tim built his audience on his own, doing his own thing, and so who he wants to support, he can support who he wants. But when you're Jenna Ellis or you're a John Cardillo or you're a Bill Mitchell and your content is only, I love Trump for 5-6 years and just in the reply section defending him, and all of a sudden you switch, well, that's where people like,
yeah, that's
I'm loyal,
and their followers left them in droves. Bill Mitchell lost 90,000 followers over the last year because he became the biggest DeSantis shill. John Cardillo, similar situation, and so loyalty matters to that extent. But I don't think the voters necessarily have to be loyal. But I think President Trump certainly makes a great case.
I look at it as I'm loyal. Yeah, John Cardillo.
It took me a second, and then it processed.
I'm loyal to the U.S. Constitution and the process of the American function. And if someone better comes along than the person I've been supporting for 20 years, I'll vote for the new, better person. And if that person that I've been supporting goes crazy, they should step down and get out of the way so the next guy can come in. That's how our system's built.
Agreed. And I don't see that playing a role right now.
Yeah, but I think the other question too is if somebody has been good for 20 years, how do you know that the person who's coming up isn't just good in rhetoric and they're actually going to be decent when they take office? Because that's one of the values, that's one of the benefits of having a political leader who has some experience is you're able to say, okay, I know what their track record is, whereas this other guy could have great rhetoric, but I don't know what he's going to do.
Real
Loyalty
quick,
is in like military and monarchy. I don't think it has a place in republics.
We got some numbers coming in.
So less than 1% of the votes have come in already. It is 7:30. Donald Trump is at 67.5% with 243 votes. DeSantis in second. Nikki Haley is in third. Vivek Ramaswamy in fourth.
Is that good for Trump so far?
This is good for
I'm
Trump.
not good at math.
Who's the guy that voted for Chris Christie?
There's one vote for Chris
One
Christie.
dude.
Ryan Binkley got a vote.
His wife voted for Ryan Binkley. They're
No,
in a split house.
Okay, hold on.
I voted for Ryan
I'm real sorry. Asa Hutchinson's still running, you said?
He's still running.
And he got 0 and Christie got 1?
He's still in the race.
Yeah,
Wow.
still in the race.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so hey, look.
If I were caucusing tonight, and I'm from Iowa, and I've caucused before as an Iowan, I no longer live in Iowa, I live in Florida, I would not be caucusing for Ron DeSantis. I'd be caucusing for Donald Trump. I fully expect to vote for Donald Trump in 2024 in a general election. My issue with the whole, what Alex is talking about, but then also this whole like loyalty argument is I think at the root of it is we injected money into the influencer world and we're able to flip influencers in a very cringy way. Talked a little bit about cringe political campaigns here. And I'm not going to name anyone, but it's fully available for everyone to see online who's getting paid. It's also fully available in FEC reports. You can go check who's on the payroll of which campaigns, right?
Yeah.
Big name influencers, you can go find them. All the reports are public. And I don't like that.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.